Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Tamara,
Hey guys, I'm Will.
and we just finished watching Married at First Sight. And like every episode, every review, I never really know what episode number. I think it's actually, I do this time. It's episode 13, season 12. And let's get into it.
Yes, let's get straight into it. So tonight was a few things happened tonight. A few of the couples got some expert visits, but before that, a few people we went into their past and their childhood.
Yes, we did. And finally, there wasn't an episode without Paige and Chris. Obviously, no juiciness with that, but it was good to actually see like real couples. Not saying they weren't real, but
Yeah, you know what's funny? It like with Paige and Chris not being there, I felt like everybody's story was too long. I'm like, yeah, why am I writing so much? So many notes. But anyway, we'll try to make it short. So it started off with you want to start with? I was gonna say Eric and Virginia, but I kind of like their story sometimes. So
well, no, we can talk about we can talk about Eric and Virginia. So I don't have much. I don't have much notes tonight, to be honest. With Eric and Virginia, well, actually, with them I do. So with Eric and Virginia, Virginia was upset that Eric didn't get to know her family. First of all, they have only known each other for a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to chill. It's it's just weird. Like, you've only known this man for a month and a half, so you guys have to get to know each other first, and then he can get to know your family, but really have that time together. And then also with those two, it's kind of like, I can understand why Eric wouldn't want to necessarily get to know her family like right away. One, they just met each other, but two, whenever she talks about her childhood and her family, she paints like a very dark picture. So like, if you, according to Eric, he comes from a very like loving family.
Mm-hmm.
So why would he want to get to know someone who causes, or people that caused his wife, trauma as a childhood? Why would he really want to get close to that if he feels like his family's good?
I think so. Virginia, to me, she always liked to see things 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm doing this, you should be doing it too.
Yeah.
Or even in conversations, she likes communicating, but for me, I think sometimes she wants that level of communication to fit her style more. But at the same time, Eric, I mean, you can argue he does too when it comes to what an ideal marriage looks like. What I have here is she was kind of upset, like you said. Eric wasn't returning the favor. She felt like she's been reaching out to his family members. Eric hasn't done the same, and he then reaches out to the dad. I feel like the dad gave some really good advice on. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, yeah, I agree. And also the thing is, like, Virginia, like, getting to know her childhood and getting to know where she comes from, I understand why she drinks so much. It's because she had to grow up very fast, and like we said in other reviews, her drinking is a way of escape. She said she was 2 in 1995, so she's 20. She's 27 basically, right? She's gonna be 28 this year if she was 2.
Yeah, I wasn't trying.
But the reason why I'm bringing that up is she, this excuse of her saying she's young and she's in her late 20s. It's really ridiculous, but it's a coping mechanism, and we really got to see that. We also got to see that she plays basketball, but also we see why she has a lot of guy friends, because she was a ball player. She plays basketball.
Yeah.
And so there was that connect. And another thing that was talked about was like, Eric's view of marriage is not necessarily the view of for everybody's marriage, but I honestly, like we talked about
Standards.
It's like simple things that when you're married, you shouldn't prioritize your friends over your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Virginia does.
I didn't like how she said, if you're away, like, why do you care if I'm home or not? You're away anyway.
It's like, oh, if you're away, if I cheat, why did you? Like,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I wouldn't trust you more now that you're telling me if I'm away. You know, like, do it while I'm here at least.
Exactly.
You know?
Because exactly. Because like, why are you waiting for me to not be home to you know what I mean? And I feel like she wasn't ready necessarily for a marriage.
Yep. I think what I seen this episode though, which I'm proud of, is I didn't see Virginia drink not once.
She
maybe
did
I missed
drink.
it.
She made a margarita for Eric's sister-in-law, who said that,
But I mean,
her talks about her partying ways as well.
She was probably, nervous in that moment, or like, she probably didn't know how to like open up to that conversation. But I didn't see those two when they were with each other, unless I missed it. I didn't really see her having a drink. And I know you mentioned the basketball. Like, Virginia is really good at basketball. I was like shocked to see her be that good. I was surprised. And like, even when she was young, she was really good. She was like doing all sorts of stuff. I'm like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, she didn't peg me for the athletic type.
I know it took it was sideways. That
I didn't peg her for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
next couple.
I think we can move on to the next couple.
Let's go to. I want to talk about Haley and Jacob.
Okay.
So the number one thing with these two this week was, apparently Jacob bought an $800 bracelet for Haley, and gifted it to her for, when they got married, and it would have been nice if she wore it the same way Paige wore the necklace that Chris gave her, the same way, like, each husband did something, or each spouse did something for their, and it's incredibly, I totally am team Jacob on that issue. It's the inconsiderate, it's the thing of being inconsiderate. Like, if she really cared about Jacob, she would have gave her mother the money to send the bracelet. Like, I understand she thought it was a necklace. Her mom took it, and her mom, went back home to Alabama. But it's been a month and a half, and the fact that I felt like he was being gaslighted. Yeah, he brought it up because it's $800. So she gaslit him so much, and then her mother was like, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal." And everyone has a love language, and maybe his love language is gift giving, and that right there crushed him. And so, like I said, I've been saying, I feel like Haley is a selfish individual, but the way she articulates herself, it gets hidden.
I think, like, so I want to rewind a little bit, you know, because I actually want to see these two be together. Like, I don't know what it is about them, but I just, like, and he's boring, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She brings, like, a funness to it, I like how she throwing her little sneaky jokes, her little...
But he has a bit of fun to
slick
him.
attacks. Yeah, but it's more like,
It's weird fun, but he.
Yeah, it's not as competitive as she would have liked. Like when they were playing baseball, he missed everything. I was like shocked myself.
But when
she
was
really
golf,
good at it.
Yeah, but when they were playing golf, he was great.
Well, the reason why she was so good at it is because her softball pass.
And the reason why he was good at golf is because his mother, he said, worked nights or something like that, and so she would just have him and his brothers play, putt. So
yeah, but I felt like with these two, it was going so well, and at least Jacob was trying, and then all of a sudden the bracelet came up, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, but I understand that, because I understand Jacob when it comes to that, And the thing is that the fact she wasn't even trying to hear him out, and obviously if he brought it up multiple times, it hurt him, and she didn't care. So I don't think these two are going to make it. To be honest, they're just
I think if
waiting
they don't make
for the
it,
days to pass.
they don't make it is because of her.
Yeah, totally.
Or it's because of him putting his foot down, saying,
No.
"Nah, I just can't do it."
It's totally her, because I think Jacob has tried, and she's always been like this, and he's come to a point from 3 weeks ago where he was like, well, if you're not gonna put anything in, I'm hurt by you already. Like, I could tell that Jacob's very hurt in that relationship.
And my only thing I don't give her, well, besides the other stuff, she didn't accept responsibility really, and she brought up the fact that he wasn't wearing a hat. And to me, that's like taking one situation and like like trying to turn it back.
She was green lighting him. She's very manipulative.
Well, let's move on to the next one.
Next, people. All right, so let's go to Brianna and Vincent.
Okay.
So Brianna chose to show Vincent her dancing world, and how she chose, her love is for dance, but she chose engineering for money. And I am the type of person that says, do what you love and the money will follow.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so because I would rather be content than searching for something that I decided to leave behind.
He low key was hating though on her, what was it, tap dancing?
The tap dancing.
Yeah.
I don't think he was hating. I
low key, jokingly, but in a joking way. He was like, "Oh, that's all you got." Boo.
But he was just joking.
Yeah.
And then she brought up how her dark skin.
Yeah, that was a deep one.
That was very deep. And I'm glad she brought that up, and how she was self-conscious, but also how she learned to love herself at 16, 17 years old. And I love how Vincent loves Brianna. You can just tell, and he said he felt sad that Brianna even had to have feel that way about herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people may say, oh, watch out for Vincent because he has his little attitude and things like that. But I honestly think it's the way producers are cutting the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Also, with Vincent and Brianna, I wanted to talk about the whole baby and blood pressure.
Well, let's talk about the bed compromise, because that led into the like you said, the fear of birth and everything. But they have one of the things, the experts were bringing up questions for each person. And the question here was the compromise for his sleeping thing.
Yeah.
And last week, he felt like she didn't compromise.
Like he feels like she just thinks he's lazy and wants everything her way. And one thing about Brianna is she likes to control, because she has high anxiety. Like I said, I suffer with anxiety. I can recognize the signs and symbols, and that comes to play with how she's very OCD, how she's very controlling about every little thing, and like how she won't compromise about the smallest things because she has to be in control.
It could be she want to spend like time with him, and because think about it, like there's times where you just slept your butt away, but I like my time by myself.
Okay,
so if she want to sleep, I am not waking her up. Let her stay there and sleep. I'm going to catch up on my shows. I'm going to do everything that I need to do. And then when she get up,
I think it's for both of us. We can relate to both of them at different times.
Like when he had that plate full of bacon.
No, we're talking about the sleepiness. So, Will is always sleepy, and it gets on my nerves.
That's at night, though.
No, not at night. It's okay. So Will wake up. He's a morning person. He wakes up early, and then by 2-3 o'clock he's tired. And then so sometimes I get so frustrated because it doesn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It doesn't matter if it's 8 o'clock at night. He'll be sleepy. So I understand how annoyed Brianna must feel. But then at the same time, like Vincent, I am not a morning person. And Will be like, wake up! Oh my gosh, get up! I made breakfast.
Yeah,
I made breakfast. Do you want me to
like
bring it
that.
to you, or do you want me to, like? It's so freaking annoying. But I think like at the beginning of the what is it, pandemic, we Will was making breakfast because he wakes up early, so he made breakfast every day. And now because I work, like I'm like back at work, I in the morning,
You're the first one up. But
yeah,
I still get up too.
yeah, but all on the weekends, on like a Saturday, will most likely cook, so they can find that compromise of the week, of maybe on Saturday and Sunday they eat breakfast together, and during the week let Vincent be. But the most important thing I want to talk about with those two is the baby situation. Again, that's part of Brianna's anxiety and her need for control. Not saying that the blood pressure issue is not something serious, unless she's holding back and she has some other illness that she's not saying. But like I think she's letting her anxiety get the best of her when it comes to this baby situation. One of my best friends has had like high blood pressure since we were in junior high, to the point where her hands would sweat. I'm trying to think. I don't think she had any complications while she was pregnant. If you monitor, if you exercise, if you do the right things, and really, focus on, and she relaxes a bit, because her anxiety can raise up her blood pressure. So I think with that situation, Brianna is letting her anxiety and her need to control make it bigger than what it is when it comes to the baby situation.
And speaking of compromising, something else came up, about the baby situation, and it was Vincent's turn. Like, will you adopt a child?
Yeah.
And Vincent, the look on his face was like, don't even do it. Don't ask me, expert. Do not ask me, because I am not adopting a child.
But you know what? I think what happened with Brianna is because of that need for control, she told the experts she wants to have a family, give her kids a better life than what she had. That's the same thing that Vincent said to the experts. That's why the experts matched them together, right? Then even before it's like she's double-minded, and that's how I know it's really her anxiety taking the best of her. Because even she brought up like them having kids and got Vincent's hopes up. And I think when they were at the dance studio, she brought up having kids. Then all of a sudden, right, and then she was like, and then when it came time for her to control the situation, then all of a sudden she brought up her blood pressure. I think was when she brought it up again. I don't know if it was like right after that conversation or when they had the conversation with Dr. Pepper, but it's just like that whole situation is her need for control. And if she was really afraid of having kids like she says she is, I don't think she would have told the experts.
Yep. So
that she wanted kids.
Yeah. So besides Vincent taking her to the bodega, that's pretty much it with this couple.
Yeah. And then our last couple.
Wait, is this? Wait, we already did?
Yep. Thank God.
We didn't know.
No, we have one more couple.
Okay.
So Clara and Ryan.
So Ryan, starts off, talking to Clara, mom, and the thing came up about the children being raised in the church.
Yeah.
You want to go on a little bit about that?
Sure. So I think Ryan wanted to get to the bottom of why Clara resents church. So that's why he had that separate conversation with her mother. I think that my personal opinion with Ryan in that situation, if raising a child or children in church was so important, he should have told the experts that he wanted a woman, a Christian woman. Obviously he didn't, or maybe we don't know, but it looks like he didn't because the experts would have tried to match him with someone.
I think he kind of did because she, even though she don't attend church, it's mentioned. You know what I mean?
No, but he didn't. I don't think he made the experts know. Like, listen, I want a woman.
Yeah, he probably didn't make that.
I want to raise my children in church. He didn't make that clear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Even before those two were matched, when he had like all the everybody else will mention their faith. Like Paige, what's his name? Stupid Chris mentioned it. Vincent mentioned it. Paige mentioned, like, usually when people want to put God in their relationship on this show, they will flat out tell the judges, here, this is what I want. And I don't think he realized that's what he wanted until, like, oh shoot, maybe I should have said something. The mother talked about how she didn't go to church before she had Clara, and when Clara was 5 months old, she realized she wanted to raise Clara in the church.
I think that's part of the problem, though, with Clara. From what we learned from her childhood, her mother didn't allow her to listen to specific CDs, yes, like Usher. Probably the Let It Burn CD. She said it was wildly inappropriate. She couldn't have MySpace, and when she finally was allowed to have MySpace, she couldn't have her picture up. And for me, that says she kind of had like a tough, sort of strict upbringing. Probably not enough like attention, like I love you, and that's why she's looking for these things now. And also, I feel like she wants that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I just want to also add, just as someone who's grown up in church my entire life, and I've seen, Christians in different walks of life, and I think I mentioned you
pushed her away.
Her mother didn't go to church until after she was born, and sometimes new Christians become very legalistic because they want to, because they're new to the faith, mm-hmm, and they want to like do everything right by the book because they're new to the faith, and that's not necessarily how it works, and they become very legalistic. So if her father wasn't going to church, her mother is basically new to the faith, like just getting back into church. I have a friend who, her parents, when she was 8 years old, started going back to church. Guess what? She didn't watch movies. She wasn't allowed to watch certain movies, and all, her parents became very strict. And when we went to college, when she was wilding out, and so I think that unfortunately that approach pushed Clara away. However, Ryan's parents probably weren't so much like that, and there are Christian people who were Christians their whole life and they're strict like that. But I think that just now, knowing the full backstory, I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll probably mention here is, the experts did talk about the intercourse, and also she kind of pushed back.
What? Use intercourse. Why can't you say sex?
That's the word she used, so I wanted to use the word she used. And then of course that came up, and then also the love word being used. And I like how Ryan, he didn't back down. Even some of them had to write letters to themselves as a child, and he didn't back down. He said, first thing is, I would tell you, well, he said, don't change.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, don't ever change, or something like that. Yeah. I probably misquoted that, but I thought that was shots at her. You know what I mean? By him telling his younger self, I love you just the way you are. Do not change. Don't let no... And he probably knows, like, he can probably see this is what she's really trying to get from me, but he's standing his ground from the letter, based on the letter. He's standing his ground, and he's not giving in. This is the way I am, and I'm not changing, so...
But in a marriage, it's give and take. You have to be able to compromise.
And that's why she pushed the expert pushed back on him and said, like, if when you say that word, it doesn't like weaken. It's something like people look for when you get off the phone with a family member. You know, you look for that "I love you" because you don't want the last thing to be said is, "Oh, he didn't tell me he loved me."
Yeah, I think Ryan takes love way too seriously.
Yeah.
And Clara takes love way not seriously at all. Like, so they have to both be able to find a middle ground. And that is our review for tonight.
Yes, unfortunately, you know, we had no drama with Paige and Chris, but I'm pretty sure
they'll be back because that clip that
Yeah.
YouTube wanted to like not like clip our review for that week.
Yeah.
We had a clip, and in a sneak peek that we saw, those two on decision day will be staying together.
Well, he said he basically speaking for her.
Yeah, but in the video, she had Chris's jacket wrapped around her legs, and she was using it as a blanket. It's just sad. And like we talked about, Chris and his ex-fiance were in Mexico in the beginning of February. So it's just a all-out hot mess. And she posted a picture of the Mercedes that he bought her. It's just a hot mess. But I'm glad this show was able to go back to the basics of like people really trying to make marriage work and find love. I'm glad without them, without that drama, it went back. But anyway, until next time, guys.
Yep. Thank you so much. Please comment, subscribe, like. Anything else?
No, that's it. Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye.